Priscilla Shirer, Unlocking Spiritual Growth Through Daily Discipline. Let me tell you this, have you ever felt stuck in your spiritual journey? Like there's a plateau where growth seems to slow down or even stop. For many of us, the path to unlocking our true potential can feel daunting. That's where Priscilla Shirer comes in. In her book, Unlocking Spiritual Growth Through Daily Discipline, she shares profound insights and practical advice that can help us navigate through these challenges. Let's dive into how her teachings can transform your spiritual life. You might be wondering, how do we maintain a consistent spiritual practice when life gets busy? Priscilla Shirer offers a powerful answer. It starts with discipline. She explains that discipline is more than just following rules. It's about making intentional choices that lead us closer to God. Here's something you should know: discipline doesn't happen overnight. It requires effort, patience, and consistency. One of the most striking stories in her book involves her own journey. Priscilla was once a busy executive who found herself constantly juggling work and family obligations. Despite her best intentions, she often struggled to find time for Bible study or prayer. But one day, something shifted. She realized that her busyness wasn't a choice. It was a lifestyle she had allowed herself to fall into. Here's what she did next. She made a commitment to set aside specific times each day for spiritual growth, no matter how small they were. This small shift turned out to be revolutionary. As she dedicated those moments, she noticed a remarkable transformation. Her relationships deepened, her stress levels decreased, and her faith became more vibrant. Here's something else you should know. When we make time for our spiritual lives, it doesn't drain us. It actually energizes us. So let's talk about the importance of consistency. Priscilla emphasizes that our spiritual practices need to be consistent to be effective. Imagine if you went to the gym once a month. It wouldn't help you get fit, right? Similarly, if you pray or read the Bible sporadically, it won't have the same impact. Consistency means carving out space in your daily routine for spiritual activities. Even if it's just 5 minutes a day, the cumulative effect over time is astounding. Now here's a personal anecdote to illustrate this point. I used to struggle with finding time for my faith during the week. Work and family commitments seemed endless. Then I decided to try Priscilla's method. I started by setting aside 1 hour every Sunday evening to read through a chapter of the Bible. At first, I felt overwhelmed. But then I remembered Priscilla's encouragement to be consistent. So I committed to doing it every single week. What happened was incredible. By the end of the year, I could recite entire chapters from memory, and my faith felt stronger than ever. Another critical aspect of spiritual growth, according to Priscilla, is surrender. She believes that true growth occurs when we allow ourselves to be transformed by God's grace. This process isn't always easy. It often involves facing our fears and letting go of control. But surrender opens up new possibilities for spiritual growth. Here's something you should know: surrender doesn't mean giving up. It means trusting in God's plan and being open to whatever He has in store. I recently experienced this firsthand. During a particularly difficult season, I felt like I was drowning. My faith seemed to wane and I was struggling to stay positive. But then, I read Priscilla's words about surrendering to God's will. I took a step back and asked myself, what does God want me to learn from this? It was a humbling moment, but it ultimately led me to a place of deeper peace and gratitude. Surrendering to God's plan allowed me to see things in a new light and grow in ways I never expected. Priscilla also stresses the importance of community in our spiritual journeys. She argues that we are not alone in our struggles and that we can support each other along the way. Joining a small group or attending church can provide a safe space to share our experiences and receive encouragement. Remember, you don't have to go through this alone. Here's something you should know: community strengthens our faith and helps us face challenges together. In her book, Priscilla shares the story of a woman who joined a small group. Initially hesitant, she found herself growing in her faith as she shared her thoughts and received feedback from others. Her relationship with God deepened, and she felt more confident in her beliefs. This experience reminded her that we are all on a spiritual journey, and sometimes the best way to grow is by connecting with others. Finally, let's talk about the power of accountability. Priscilla believes that having someone hold us accountable for our spiritual practices can be incredibly motivating. Whether it's a friend, family member, or even a mentor, accountability partners can help keep us on track and encourage us when we're feeling discouraged. I've found this to be true in my own life. Having someone to check in with regularly keeps me focused and motivated. A friend of mine, Sarah, struggled with staying consistent in her Bible reading. She had tried everything, including apps and online courses, but nothing seemed to stick. Then, she found a mentor who helped her develop a regular reading habit. Now, Sarah reads her Bible every morning and feels a renewed sense of purpose. Accountability can be a game changer, and it's something you should definitely consider. In conclusion, unlocking spiritual growth through daily discipline is not just about reading the Bible or praying. It's about making a conscious decision to prioritize our spiritual well-being. Priscilla Shirer's teachings offer practical guidance that can help us overcome common obstacles and cultivate a deeper, more meaningful relationship with God. Remember, the journey to spiritual growth is ongoing, and it requires effort, patience, and consistency. But the rewards are immeasurable. So let's embrace this journey together, guided by the wisdom and inspiration of Priscilla Shirer. Here's something to think about. What small steps can you take today to incorporate more spiritual discipline into your life?